With number 3. This one gets a lot of people tripped up because of the way that it's worded. But remember, we start out by identifying the two situations. What are we, or I should say, who are we comparing in number 3? Lionel or Lionel, however you want to say it. And Cristiano. Right? Those are the two that we're comparing. So, what are the two numbers associated with Lionel? 10 and 2. Not 10 and 15. Lionel scored 10 goals last season and is scoring 2 goals. It does not work. It has not worked for days. What is your question? Okay. He scored 10 goals last season, and Lionel's scoring 2 goals each game this season. So Lionel's numbers are 10 and 2. What about Cristiano? What are his two numbers?
15 and 1.
15 and 1. Which of those numbers are my M? 2 and 1. 2 goals each game. 1 goal each game. Each is the same as per. It tells us that that's our M. My initial value, basically, Cristiano started with 15 goals last season, and Lionel started with 10 goals last season. So we write the equation 2x plus 10 equals 1x plus 15 and solve it out. First thing we want to do is subtract 1x over to the left. We're left with 1x plus 10 equals 15. Then we subtract 10 over to the right, and we get 1x equals 5. Right? We don't need the 1 in front of our x, so we could just say x equals 5. But what are my units? Is it 5 goals? Is it? How many games? 5 games. Right? The question gives you your units. How many games will each person have to play before they have the same number of goals? So basically, Cristiano scored more goals last season, but 5 games into this season, they'll have the same amount of total goals. Does that make sense? Anybody get 5 games in number 3? Okay. So if you set it up as 10x plus 15 equals 1x plus 2 or something like that, I understand. We've got to make sure that we're breaking this information down correctly. Number 4 is just like the one from our notes, so we're not going to go over number 4. Number 5. This is another tricky one because we don't have per and we don't have each. So we got to figure it out for ourselves. Number 5 says the Kings have 70 points at halftime and only make 2-pointers the entire second half. The Warriors have 50 points at halftime and only make 3-pointers in the entire second half. How many baskets will each team have to make in the second half for the game to be tied? Who are we comparing here? Kings and the Warriors. What are the two numbers associated with the Kings? 70 points at halftime and 2-pointers for the second half. What are the two numbers associated with the Warriors? 50 and 3. They have 50 points at the half and only make 3-pointers. Now, 2-pointers, if we wanted to reword that, we could say 2 points per basket. Right? Which means 2 is going to be my M or my B? My M. My initial value, or where we're starting, is at 70 points. Because that's how much we scored in the first half. I could write the equation 2x plus 70 equals 3x plus 50. What do I want to do first? Subtract 3x from both sides. I get negative 1x plus 70 equals 50. What now? Subtract 70 from both sides. We get negative 1x equals what? Negative 20. Good. Am I done? Nope. I got to divide by what? Negative 1. What is negative 20 over negative 1? Just 20. 20 what, though? 20 baskets. So in this situation, right, coming out of the halftime break, the Kings are up by 20, but they only make 2-pointers. The Warriors only make 3-pointers. So after they've each made 20 shots, they're tied. Right? Because every time they make a basket, the Warriors are making one more point. So obviously, if they're down 20, they need to make 20 baskets to make up that point difference. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Just so we can be clear on our answers, you can check the other 3. Here's numbers 1 and 2. We're not going to have time to break them down, but make sure you've got 10 square yards for number 1, 3 hours for number 2. Oh, we should have done number 4. Whatever. What did you get for number 4? 2.5. Now with number 4, right, we end up with 5 over 2. 50 over 20 turns into 5 over 2. This is the one rare time I'm going to ask you to do a decimal, because 5 over 2 hours doesn't make any sense. Right? I wouldn't say, oh, I've been at the doctor for 5 over 2 hours. Nobody says that. 2.5 hours, that's more, it's easier for us to understand. Right? And of course, we got 20 baskets or 20 shots, number 5. Any questions I can answer about that? Very nice. Go ahead and turn in